out real subtle, but just to give you an idea, I didn't have the pressure. Okay, here's one where the pressure was more and it worked better. This is metal screening. And this was just some wires that were laid abstractly on the metal as I rolled it through. Okay, so what's most important is that you protect the rollers while you're doing this texturing. So you need, you need your annealed metal, you need your texturing material. I'm going to do a piece of sandpaper. So I'm going to lay the sandpaper on top of my annealed metal. Then I need 2 pieces of metal. I'm going to make a sandwich. So I have 1 piece on the bottom. The sandwich goes on top of that towards the front. And then the other piece of my sandwich goes on top of that. All right, now this mill, this guy opens these up. I'm going to open this up really wide until I can slide this whole sandwich through. Okay, so I can. So now I'm going to close it down and make it really tight. If I don't have enough pressure on the sandwich, I won't get a good texture, which is what happened with that one from last week. Just close it down real tight. Then I do a little test roll. If it's too loose, that feels too loose. That means I need to make it tighter. And this like comes with experience. If it's too tight, I'll have to loosen it. All right.
If it's too tight, what happens?
If it's too tight, what can happen is your materials can actually slide out the back of the sandwich, or you just won't be able to turn this handle. So it should be a little difficult, not extremely difficult. All right, it's okay. Sandpaper makes a nice texture.
Is paper
And it's
towel
regular
working?
sandpaper, not the emery that we use for emerying our metal. It's regular sandpaper. It has a more grit to it. So I'm sorry, Marie.
Is paper towel design working or not?
I think that's too soft. So you need something that's hard enough to press in. If you use paper, watercolor paper works well because it has a high rag content. The file folder material seems to work okay. If you want to do screening, it has to be metal screening. Lace makes a really nice texture, but it has to have polyester in it. It can't be cotton lace. That just shreds and falls apart. So anything natural tends to just crumble as it goes through the mill. What I suggest is that if you want to test something out, do some small tests before you decide to texture a larger piece of metal. And keep in mind that you only have, I think this is about 2.5 inches in width. That's the widest you can run through here. So keep that in mind. We have a container over here with extra metal in it that you can use for texturing. Some of these, what I should do is anneal them and roll them through the mill. And you want these metals to be hard. Nickel and brass seem to work best for the sandwiching materials. And you can see this one has some texture on it. That could transfer to your metal. So what I usually do is when they start getting a heavy texture on them, I'll anneal them, and then I run them through the power mill until I roll that texture out, and then they're work hardened again, and I'll stick them back in the basket. So you can use these for texturing if you want. Okay, any questions on the mill or the texturing? Okay, well I hope this video turns out better